When you picture a semi-truck in the United States, it usually looks something like this. A massive hood stretching 8 feet out front, dripping in chrome, looking like it's about to transform into a robot. But hop over to Europe, and the trucks look entirely different. Flat-faced with no nose. The driver sits directly at the very front of the vehicle. They are doing the exact same job, hauling heavy cargo over long distances, yet they look like they belong on two completely different planets. You might assume this is just a case of Americans liking things bigger. And sure, the American truck is bigger. But here is the plot twist. The European truck is actually hauling a longer trailer. To understand why these designs diverged so drastically, you have to look at geography, history, and one very specific law that changed everything. In America, trucks were forged by infinite horizons. The country features highways that stretch straight for 500 miles without a single turn. Because space wasn't an issue, engineers prioritized the engine, positioning it way out in front. This long-nosed design, officially known as a conventional cab, makes maintenance incredibly easy. If you break down, you just pop the hood. It's as simple as opening the front door of your house. Europe, however, was built long before trucks even existed. Drivers there are navigating thousand-year-old villages, streets originally designed for horse-drawn carts, and tight corners in cities laid out by the Roman Empire. Because of these tight spaces, European law dictates a strict size limit. The total length of the rig, including both the tractor and the trailer, cannot exceed 16.5 meters, about 54 feet. This created a geometry problem. If you use an American-style long-nosed truck in Europe, that 8-foot hood eats directly into your legal length limit. That means a shorter trailer, less cargo, and ultimately, less money. So European engineers did something brilliant. They deleted the hood entirely. By moving the cab directly over the engine, they created the cab-over design. This design divergence created two completely different lifestyles for truckers. In the US, where length limits apply primarily to the trailer rather than the entire rig, designers focused on comfort. Behind the driver's seat, you'll often find a massive living space. It's essentially a land yacht built for the long haul. In Europe, just getting to work is a workout. You have to scale 3 steep steps. It's practically rock climbing because you are sitting directly on top of the motor. And if a European truck breaks down, there's no hood to pop. Instead, you have to use hydraulic hinges to tilt the entire cab forward. It looks like engineering madness, but it's the only way to access the engine. However, that flat face gives the European truck a superpower: precision. These trucks can pirouette through tight city centers like dancers, whereas an American truck needs a football field just to make a U-turn. But there is a dark side to this European efficiency, because physics is physics. In an American long nose, that massive hood acts as a built-in crumple zone. In a head-on collision, there are 8 feet of steel and engine to absorb the impact before it ever reaches the driver. In a cab-over, the driver is practically the crumple zone. Because they are sitting right at the front, they lose that vital physical buffer. While European manufacturers have engineered incredibly reinforced cabs to compensate, the inherent risk is simply higher. So, the next time you see a semi-truck, remember that you aren't just looking at a vehicle, you're looking at a map. One was forged by the luxury of open space, while the other was sculpted by the constraints of ancient history. They might look like they're from different planets, but really, they've just perfectly adapted to their own unique worlds.